knowing your audience, knowing this person that you're approaching, that you may suspect or may have a concern over, you have to know them and know how to approach them and feel comfortable enough to get in their face. I wouldn't do this to someone I run into at Vons, but if it's somebody I've known a couple years, I'm gonna know how to have a conversation with them. I'm gonna know what questions to ask, and it might take the asshole approach, but there's also like this softer, like, yo, I genuinely care about you, man. Like, talk to me. What's going on? Like, let's take a step over here. Come on, talk to me. What's going on?
Beyond the Fairway, Dougie Fresco, and me London guy, Will across the pond. What are you? The hell are you doing in London? Huh?
We man, I'm here, man. Underrated tour. We were playing at Walton Heath Golf Course. First stop across the pond for the underrated kids. We brought 6 ambassadors from Underrated USA, and we're about to meet, some new friends. We got 90 kids from the UK that are participating.
How many flew over? How many kids from the US came with you?
Six. We got 6 from the US tour, and
that's crazy, bro. Like,
man, it's crazy, man. Underrated.
Junior tour flying people out, and that's so wild to me. Like, we going international now.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think
look
about
at me.
it.
I got French real quick, didn't I? Talking about some we. I ain't affiliated to none of that shit, but I'm French today.
It's crazy, you think about, Stephen's tour. I mean, Stephen's vision of what he wanted, Underrated to be like, and to think that, we had 3 seasons, 2 seasons in the US, and now we are, we're doing it big. We're making new introductions, where people having new introductions to the game of golf through somebody else's vision, and it's so dope.
See, that's how I know y'all got an airline sponsor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because this don't happen without somebody assisting us to fly some kids across the water.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We do have airline sponsors. You gotta get a shout out to United. So the flight over here was so dope that United Airlines, covered everything. They are pretty much the title sponsor of this particular event here in the UK. But we had, camera crews on the plane, filming the kids while in real time while the plane is flying. Like, it felt so good for the flight attendants. Really couldn't say anything this time. They were like, okay, go ahead.
It's like, what, y'all, somehow my boss's boss approved this, so I'm
exactly.
I'm gonna just sit back over.
Hey, let me tell you something. So we got Henny Koyak, former she's still a Beyond the Fairway family, but in Henny fashion, not everybody met Henny yet, right? They met her through the phone calls, and we have weekly phone calls, etc. And we're in our meeting, and I'm texting Henny. I'm like, Henny, you coming? She said, yes, I'm on the way. She busts through the door. In Henny fashion, she brings her 2 dogs. So we got a meeting with everybody, and she has her 2 dogs in the meeting with us.
Hey, man, y'all overseas. Y'all ain't home no more, baby.
We're home. So I said, everybody, this is Henny Koyak.
And then she got 2 labs. She got a white lab and a black lab too. Them dogs are not small. Shout out to Henny, man, being reunited. Did I see Garrett Bale somehow involved in this event?
Yeah,
like
Garrett Bale.
Garrett Bale is
superstar, underrated ambassador. Actually, Henny introduced Garrett Bale and Steph Curry last month. Garrett Bale traveled to LA to watch Steph play, and it was kind of surreal. So
that's wild. That's wild. Like,
they're growing. Anyway, they're growing the game for sure.
Speaking of wild, Davis Riley gets the win over the week. Charles Schwab Challenge there at Colonial Country Club. Redid the whole golf course. Surprised that he actually held on. Scotty Scheffler definitely in the mix coming down the stretch. But that's not the news, Will. It's really not the news from the event. The news being Grayson Murray. When it first was announced, Saturday morning, it was announced that he had passed. We'd come to learn as the week progressed into Sunday that he actually took his own life. We talk about mental health and life's fragility, but it's moments like this, Will, where you're really reminded of those points. And we talked to Grayson at the PGA Championship 2 weeks ago at Valhalla. Um, it's just we're going to get into it a little bit in our conversation with guest Bradford Wilson here in a few, Will. But it's one of those moments and things that happen where it's like, how did I miss that? I mean,
Yeah.
I know we all are, everybody's able to. We're some good ass disguisers, we human beings. We can disguise the hell out of some stuff. And it's just unfortunate that that was the reality for Grayson Murray taking his own life there on Saturday. And well, I know you've been busy and been traveling. What's your take on the scene with Murray?
Um, Sad. Very sad. Um, you know, like you said, Doug, we're good disguisers. We put our representative out there in the forefront, disguising
Mm-hmm.
as if everything's okay. But when you heard about Grayson Murray, for everybody who's in the golf community, everything slowed down for them right after that.
Yeah,
Because right after I
for
heard
sure.
that, everything slowed down for me, and it kind of made
It got
me have a reassessment of my life, like just what's important. We can let the things of the world put pressure on us, uh, and it just has me to the point to where just thinking about just life. And my condolences go out to the family
yeah,
because I know they're going through a
absolutely.
lot. Uh, the Murray family as well as the PGA Tour family.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bradford Wilson, who's going to come in here and get in the hot seat with us, member of the group called Therapy Team. Really proud as soon as I heard, the news and when you finally confirmed what time we could record a podcast, Will, it was nice. I reached out to Bradford and was like, yo, I really want your take on this. Bradford, he's a voice of mental health, but he's also a really genuine dude whose career is just skyrocketing. And so we're gonna pivot here and go a little bit beyond the fairway with Bradford Wilson. All right, well, in this week's 19th hole discussion, of course, I like to pour out a little whiskey today. I got the Doers. This is the U.S. Open edition from last year. Still drinking it, still sipping it. But that's what we're going to drink as we pour a little bit out for Grayson Murray, who took his life last week during the Charles Schwab Challenge. And we brought Bradford Wilson in here to get busy. And Bradford, why I wanted to reach out to you is because you're one of the more comfortable people talking about men's mental health as a concept, but especially kind of men's mental health around black and brown individuals, etc. But shout out to Bradford Wilson, man. Thank you for pulling up today.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me. This is, yeah, like you said, I'm very comfortable talking about the mental health conversation. It's important not just for brown and black folks, for everybody, and as it pertains to golf, like this is our wheelhouse. So I'm happy to be here. Thank y'all for inviting me.
Yeah, Bradford, just to get a little bit of background about you. You said you. It's funny you were a golf content creator, actor, filmmaker. Um, but what's interesting about you to me is that you'd rather be known or introduced as a good son, a good brother, a good teammate, a good homie. And I appreciate that humility. It seems like that kind of started kind of back at the crib for you back in the Jersey.
Yeah, yeah. Born and raised in Willingboro, New Jersey. Um, love my parents. They've been supportive my whole life, no matter what I want to do. Still don't. The path ain't clear, as as I'm sure y'all can relate. I've always had support, and I think of them anytime I am able to do anything, anytime I can use my platform, anytime I'm like somewhat visible. It's like I wouldn't be here without them. So Carla, Daryl, I love you.
How pivotal is it for you know a parent or parents to kind of be involved to where you kind of really you kind of be in touch with who you are yourself. And I say that because Bradford, when it comes to you and I, we have had ample amount of conversations where it got deep, right? Deep in the feelings, heart to hearts, and I kind of feel like you know both of our parents were very involved in our life, right? But how pivotal is it from a young age to really kind of, I guess, learn from your parents and be more, in tune to who you are as a person, especially as you grow and mature?
So really good question. So I was home 2 weeks ago and reconnected with a friend, like literally my day one friend. I've known this man since 1993. We're 3, 4 years old, running around church. And he recently got a job in the golf industry. So he reached out to me. He's like, yo, who do I need to know? What do I need to do? Because he's like, you're the golf guy. Also, before any of the golf stuff for me or for him, we've seen each other's trajectory over the years. We've seen the ups and downs. Um, Something he said to me was his upbringing and mine were very, very similar, but different in that his parents supported everything. Yeah, you want to go and act, you want to go and rap, you want to go and jump off a trampoline for the NBA, go and do it. We love you. Go. We support you. We'll do anything you want to do. My parents, not the same. My parents were strict.
Mm.
My mother's a military background. My dad worked for the post office. They just had regimen. They had routine. They held a high standard for me at the house. And it wasn't until I turned 25 till I moved out. I took all of the structure and all those lessons and the rigidity that was at home. I learned from it and was able to apply like the things that I learned, the things I was passionate about, and I took advantage of it from there. So I think every household is different, but knowing who you are, like knowing that I still had all this expression and creativity in me, I knew kind of where to put it and what to do with it without losing my mind.
Mm. When you say lose your minds, it is because like certain pressures that you originate yourself or pressure that bestow upon you.
No, I mean like lose my mind, like not having a clue what I was doing. I still don't to it.
Mm.
Let's be real. But like
Yeah.
just trying things with no abandon, like no
Mm.
rules, no thought, just go, 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 go. That was never comfortable for me. I wanted to know what I was getting into. I wanted to know the arena. I wanted to know the rules. I wanted to know the players. I wanted to know how things operated before I dipped my toe in it. And I think that's just because I was brought up like, no, you're not going outside after 7 p.m. You gotta check in after the street lights go on. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff versus this
Mhm.
friend who I was talking to, like his parents were like, as long as you come home, you know,
Yeah, no,
as
no
long as you come
curfew,
home,
none of that shit.
don't bring no girls, don't bring no kids up in here, and you're good.
Yeah.
My parents were like, no, we're
So,
not having that.
what's interesting, you are 1/3 of the group golf therapy podcast movement, if you will, and you guys really. It's interesting talking to all of y'all because there's this laying down of the veil when I get around. I feel like when I get around y'all, there's no airs. I feel like it's just the realest of talk and communications. Now, what I'm trying to still grasp is you from the Jers, man. Like you from an area, and then when we talk about kind of your career ascension, where did the affinity for, I guess, therapy like come in, or did that just West Coast just rub off on you?
This is a good question. Therapy actually started for me in New Jersey. I haven't talked much about this. I might have shared this with y'all offline at some point, but um, therapy for me started in 2011. I was robbed at gunpoint, um, and
I
it
didn't know
was
that.
it was extremely traumatic for not just me, but for my family. It was a situation I like literally should never have been in. Um, Naivete got the best of me a little bit, and it was a 3v1 situation. I got like literally pinned up against the wall, gun in my stomach, like. And after that experience, I I didn't know what to do. I was a shell of myself. I stayed in my room. I didn't eat. I didn't. At that time, I was working before golf, I was a physical therapist. I didn't go to work. I was depressed. I was PTSD, like you name it. And the only recourse my parents knew what to do with was, let's have him talk to someone. So without that experience, without my parents saying, let's try and use this resource to kind of get him talking, to get him like expressing what he was feeling, what he's going through, therapy probably would have never shown up in my life.
It's interesting that you say that. What was the fear? Did you ever find out what the fear was? Is it scared of being robbed again, or what was exactly you were battling with?
It was a lot of things. It was embarrassment most of all, because like you hear about that stuff, but you never think you're going to be in that situation.
Yeah.
And coming from, like I explained, how my family was very regimented, very strict. Um, like I was always checking in with my family. I lived with my family. Like for that to happen, just was like, how did that happen? How could that have happened to me? So a little bit of embarrassment, um, scared like down to my bones. Like you get a gun pulled on you, that kind of fear is hard to describe. So it was embarrassment, it was fear. It was like I don't even know how to find the words to describe what I'm feeling right now. Um, and I didn't have a way to do that. I didn't have a way to express that, to talk about that without the help of a professional.
I always looked at therapy as um, weak people. Weak people
Hmm.
go to therapy, right? Weak people seek help from other people and pay for it. Now, I'm prefacing like this is how I thought about it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But it's just I feel like even in our communities and all communities, there's some stigma that's attached. So did you feel like in this scenario, you know you've had this experience, you know you got to get help, but did you have that hurdle attitude or mentality when it came to actually press and play on it?
Um, at that time, no,
Hmm.
because I didn't know which way was up. I didn't
Mm.
I wasn't thinking like, like therapy, it's not it's not going to help me. Like I was thinking therapy might be the only thing that can help me.
Yeah.
The stigma, I think, specifically with Black people, is like therapy is for entitled, wealthy, um, first world problems.
Yeah.
Black people don't go to therapy. Black people don't
That's
want
what I was
a
taught.
therapist up in their head. Yeah, yeah, and that's societal. That's our community has just been fed that lie. After actually, I talked to former pastor about this and like why is that a thing in the Black community? I'll keep it like those of us of the
Hmm.
diaspora, right? Like a lot of
As I'm having a drink, like I love
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
having a drink as we
as you
discuss this.
should.
I'm just letting you.
Those of us of the diaspora, a lot of our ancestors, a lot of our family found solace and community and safety in the church.
Hmm.
So, in a church community, no matter what ails you, you would take that problem and bring it to church. You would pray about it. You would talk to
See,
your
prayer was meditation. That's what I learned later in life. Prayer wasn't nothing
amen,
but meditation.
amen, and
Like
I still use it.
regardless
It's
of where you think about, right?
exactly, and it's something I still use. Um, prayer, church, community, your pastor, your minister, whoever you would bring your problems to, they had the answers.
Mm.
Though those problems weren't supposed to leave the community. So whether you had a broken leg, whether you had a headache,
Yeah.
whether uh, you had some physical ailment that wasn't leaving your body, you would take that to church, and that's just generationally we were taught like
You
everything
take
just
the church,
stays
live it,
here.
leave it on the altar.
Exactly. Exactly. And growing up in that environment, I saw other people doing that. And I'm sure we all like we've all seen versions of that. Like everybody brought
Yeah.
their problems to church. Everybody prayed about it, danced about it, sang about it, and what we thought was they would leave and everything would be okay.
Pacified.
Exactly. But the brain doesn't quite work that way. It just doesn't. Your nervous system doesn't care who your pastor is. Your nervous system doesn't care what your religious affiliation is. Your nervous system is wired in a way that scientists can understand, and those who've spent their life's work studying these things may have answers for you that can get you to the place quicker than no shade to anybody. Somebody went to online Bible school. I'm just gonna say that.
Absolutely. No. I mean, and there's so much patience to prayer, right? Like there's so much patience you have to have to prayer, because it doesn't just happen just like that. Just kind of the words of affirmation. How to stay centered, waiting for the prayer to happen is really the tough part that comes in.
Yeah. I would say there's a lot of patience in both things. There's benefits to both things. Like there's benefits to praying. Prayer, as I was taught, is a conversation between you and God. It's talking and listening. And therapy is a lot. It's a lot of the same. You're talking and you're listening and you're reflecting and you're journaling. You're
Practicing.
You're practicing. Your awareness is heightened. Yeah. These are things that you can use in both. But with therapy, you're taught also. You are taught how to interpret what you're experiencing. You're taught how to label and name your emotions and your feelings, things that are coming up for you. And then you're taught how to act on them, or how to process them. That's the word. Process is the key.
Well, it's a good word. It's a very good word, Bradford, because when I'm thinking about processing, and one of the things that I really wanted to get into today, which is why I reached out to kind of fourth quarter, if you will, late fourth quarter. And I'll start with a story. Will and I were at Valhalla doing some work for the PGA of America a couple weeks ago. This was now 2 weeks ago as we record this podcast. I literally talked to Grayson Murray on the range, walked up to him, gripped him up, checked on him. How you living? How you feeling? Everything was positive. Everything is on the up and up. So for him to, we're now finding out, take his life, as a friend and someone that's been in close proximity to him in the days leading up to his ultimate demise, I'm even left thinking, could I have done more? What should I have done? What were the things I should have looked out for? And I know we're talking about him taking his life, but when we talk about mental health, etc., and I know you and the group golf therapy team are well versed in this, which is why I wanted to talk about it. What are some of the things that we people need to look out for? Because sometimes it's like, yo, how you living, bro? Good. You hear the tone, but you ain't following up. Like, what are those things, or some practical steps, like our listeners and can take away? How do we properly check on people?
It's a really good question. I don't think there's a perfect science to it, unfortunately. Just like a conversation with your pastor or your therapist, it's a conversation. It's talking and listening. Talking has to go both ways. The people checking in on folks, you're asking the questions. How are you? What have you been up to? Give me an update. Like, how's the family? You're talking to a golfer. How's the game? Those are things, those are low hanging fruit. The other person still, like, you're expecting an answer. You got to be listening for something too. It's people are really, really good at hiding what's going on with them.
Dude, professional hiders. Dude.
Yeah. But and that leads me to the question of, okay, once you do find somebody that may need some help, how do you approach that, B? Like, how do you approach, like, all right, I see
That's
that
not
I got
an
a
easy
friend.
Conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So how do you what are some suggestions you have for that? Because I feel like I've seen some people that I know in my circle that may be struggling, and I'm like,
Mm.
how do I say what I need to say without being offensive? But I know it's important as well.
I think something you could always do with someone, maybe you're suspecting, hey, this person may be going through something. I know, maybe his mom is sick, or maybe work isn't going well. Like, ask follow-up questions.
Mm,
Say, say you go check on your friend, and they're like, hey, yeah, I'm good. Cool, cool. Yeah, tell me what's good. Like, ask a
yeah,
follow-up question, and like, be
I ain't
genuine
never
about
done
it.
that. I ain't never done that before. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna take you for face value.
Yeah.
Like you say
And
you
most of
good,
us
you
do,
good.
right? Most of us do, right? Because it's like, you have stuff to do, I have stuff to do. I got a job, you got a job. You out here trying to make 1.8 this week. I'm not. That's cool. You got your priorities, cool. But I mean, follow up questions is just it's a way to stretch the conversation out, and like making eye contact, like paying attention to their body language is important too. Like,
yeah.
you really, if you are going into the conversation with the intent of actually understanding what this person is going through, be genuine. Like, take a beat, ask another follow up question, like, get in their space a little bit.
It's funny you say that because when people when people my trigger emotions, when people ask about, am I okay from, I lost my mom and lost my grandmother all in a week during COVID. There is a
Mhm.
sense of weirdness that I get. I can fake with the best of them, but when they, how's your family, or how's, I remember your mother. Boy, I get very weird real quick, and it's like
Mm,
there's sometimes I wish that person would pounce on me a little more, because I
yeah,
need to
Mm.
talk.
Ooh.
Like I mean,
yeah,
God, I wish you would ask more probing questions and talk about it more because I need to let this out because I'm at a point now to I haven't seen a therapist yet, and I still
mm,
battle with it. So it's kind of like like how do you know? Going back to the original question, how do you know to approach? But those some good suggestions for
Yeah.
sure.
It's like I feel like you almost have to be a asshole. Like sometimes to check on certain people. Like I hate to
some
say
people
it
need
like
that.
that,
Some
but it's,
people need that.
it's like it's like how you doing? Like
Yeah,
tell me
Yeah.
the
yeah.
truth. Like,
So
but this is
so
I
funny though.
what?
What's funny, Doug, is that I'm sorry if I cut you off because of
What?
delay, but
No, you
it
didn't. You
is the
good.
it is that there I find there's in a way into the approach because a person can tell if the approach is, oh, he just casually asking because he's supposed to. But there's sometimes where
Mm,
you can get up in a guy's face or a female's face and like look, square to square and not blink. Like, how are you? And it's like,
yeah,
whoa, oh, you really
Yeah,
care,
that's
and that's when emotions start to stir up.
do
yeah.
that shit to
That
me at the wrong time of day, and
Yeah.
see how you get received.
yeah. You you so I would say, knowing your audience, knowing this person that you're approaching, that you may suspect or may have a concern over, you have to know them and know how to approach them and feel comfortable enough to get in their face. I wouldn't do this to someone I run into at Vaughn's, but if it's somebody I've known a couple years, I'm gonna know how to have a conversation with them. I'm gonna know
Mm.
what questions to ask, and it might take the asshole approach, but there's also like this softer, like, yo, I genuinely care about you, man. Like, talk to me. What's going on? Like, let's take a step over here. Come on, talk to me. What's going on?
Yeah, but that's what shocks me about this whole thing with Grayson Murray is, when we look at the suicide numbers, Bradford, 1 in 5 people know someone that's committed suicide. 25 suicides per 1,000 people, kind of what I'm seeing right there. And we talk about being seen in family. And Peter Malnati, in a very upsetting interview, he was very distraught, rightfully so. He talked to Amanda Balionis. He talked about how the PGA Tour is a family. Now, I'm not trying to point fingers or anything, but it is well documented Grayson's struggles with his mental health, alcoholism, but he was
Hmm.
also one of the most uplifting, kind, charismatic people. But here's the question: how did a family, and it happens all the time, how did the family miss this one though? Is it that he was so coaxing? Because again, you in the group golf therapy guys, I know y'all have covered the gamut when it comes to the who, what, when, where's, and hows of therapy, mental health. But how did the PGA Tour miss it? And are you able to even stop it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, no, you're not. Unfortunately, I think the PGA Tour can say this is a family, treat each other as so, but at the end of the day, all the members of that family are competing for the same meal.
Mm.
And with that, your guard is up, regardless of
Yeah.
how long you've known these people. You're still trying to take their head off at
Yeah.
the end of the day, right? Like I'm still getting that ass. I'm trying to win money this
I'm
week.
trying to win. I'm trying to
I'm trying
beat
to
you.
win. So especially in a tournament setting, like ultimate competitors, alpha dogs, whatever you want to label these people, they're not there to be friendly and be familial. They're there to feed their families, their real families. Um, Also, what you were saying about his personality, um, there is something to the really jovial, upbeat, funny person that has these struggles off the course. There's a very strong correlation in those two things, unfortunately.
Mm.
And Grayson is the latest of uh, a victim of this exact thing. It's like he can be the kindest, sweetest, funniest dude on tour, but having the background that he had, like
Demons.
no one really
I,
knew. No one really,
that
really
that
knew.
that's where the follow up is so important because I heard in I don't know late 18 late 19 that he told Commissioner Monahan that there was a he was battling mental illness, and I heard that PJ Tour did everything for him. They kind of opened up the awareness of mental health therapists at their beck and call. But what I kind of realize and what I'm starting to see is that sobriety doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-mm.
Like sobriety, it takes time for the fight that you're fighting to be to be back fully recovered or get fully harvest. And you know it's the follow up is so important too, because sometimes we say, hey, well, we got the mental health therapist for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we did our part, good. But it's really the intention after that part is so important, and it just breaks my heart, man, to see that somebody. I mean, for him to leave the middle of a round,
Right.
like I
Two
gotta I
holes
gotta
left.
I got 2 holes left.
Two
I
holes
gotta
left.
go.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
make and thing about it though, that's something that Peter has to deal with too, because I heard, and I don't know how much of it's true,
Peter
that
Malnati, you're referencing, Will.
yeah, Peter Malnati. What I heard that he was very much aware of telling staff, do not let him leave. Do not let him leave.
Mm.
Something, it's not heat exhaustion. It's something's not right. And I mean, it's just a sad day. When I saw that,
Yeah.
I was just I lost it.
Let's talk solutions real quick. Where are the resources? I feel like hell, I don't even know. I mean, I'm googling stuff as we've been talking, but um, if you're struggling with things, what are those resources that you guys point folks toward?
Uh, the resource that I use, the one that I swear by, and it's such a memorable name, is Therapy for Black Girls. Therapy for Black Girls is something you can quickly Google, something you'll remember. Therapy for Black Girls is a part of a huge national network. It's not just therapy for Black girls. There's therapy for Black men. There's therapy for you name it. There are so many online resources for just someone to go online, click around. Uh,
But is that effective though,
there's
Bradford?
BetterHelp. Well, here's the thing. This I was going to go back to PGA Tour offering these resources. It's one thing for your employer to say, we have resources at
I got your
your
back.
disposal.
We
Disposal.
got y'all.
We got y'all. It's another thing for the person to go and do the work themselves. That's something you, me, Drew, Connor, like we cannot make someone do it. I'll share a personal story. I had a very, very close family member exhibiting some wild behaviors to the point where it was no longer an option for us as a family to say, there are resources. You should call this number. I'm sending you this link. I'm sending you the number of this cell phone of this therapist who's 24/7. We literally had to trick him into the car and drive him to a hospital because he was going to take his own life. That is an extreme case. That comes with knowing your audience, knowing this person that you're concerned about, knowing what they're dealing with. Have they bathed? Have they eaten? Have they talked to their family? Those are the signs we're looking for. And then what kind of behaviors are they exhibiting? Are they pulling away? Have you not talked to them in a few days? Like, those are the things we're paying attention to. That was the thing that was like, oh no, I'm putting you in the car today and taking you. I don't care what you say. That comes down to the relationship you have with people. Outside of that, if you're friends, you see them at work, you know them well enough, that those are the times where you just support them. Hey, I have a resource for you. I talked to this person. They were great. Send it to their loved ones. If you have their information, surround this person with as much support and love as you can. Ultimately, they have to make the decision themselves. In those extreme cases, though, I mean, using Grayson as an example, he was in the middle of work. He was literally in the middle of a round of golf. That is not, I would not say that is an instance where someone puts him in a car and drives him to a hospital. Like,
I'm just trying to find the learnings though, Brad. I still can't see like and this is a tough one, right? It's tough, hard. Yeah, this is a very public individual that lives a very public life in front of all these people. And I know what we do at home is our thing, and that's what we do when we get our privacy. But it just feels like knowing the dude, being around a dude, it just feels like somebody could have helped intervene. No, I'm saying could have intervened. I don't want to, like, look, when I'm saying, but when I go for a green and 2, caddy can try to talk me out of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's water down the left side. I've been missing left all day, and I think I can get home at 290 to the front edge. Ain't nobody talking me out of that shot. Nobody. Yeah. And so I understand that if that's what's on his heart, or people that choose to take their lives, if that's on their heart, you're not going to talk them out of it. Mm-hmm. And I understand that yours is also an extreme case, but it could have just prolonged. Yeah, somebody's inevitable. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's a tough situation, man.
That's a good point, Doug. That's a great point, Doug. Again, because back in my situation, like I saw that psychotic break, right? Like instantly. Like I literally saw it to where that fork in the road, you can go right, left, or down the middle. Like I absolutely saw it. So that's a good point, Doug. You're not going to stop anybody. Yeah. But so is that more of a thing? It kind of takes me back to Harry. It takes me back to Harry Higgs. After him winning his Corn Ferry event last week, he challenged the crowd by asking 2 questions. Tell the people that you don't know, ask them how their day is. And you'll be surprised like how much of a major part that plays. But yeah, you can't really stop him, Doug. That's a good point. So, pivoting just a bit, I see everything that's happening with LAGC, TGL, the new league that is coming out in January of 25, indoor golf simulator league. And, when you think about all the stuff that is happening with the TGL, we got all the teams. We have New York, we have Boston, we have LA, we have the Bay Area, and we have Jupiter. I think I'm missing one, maybe one Atlanta, maybe 6 teams. Atlanta. I feel like LAGC is busy. You guys are doing something. Busy? You guys, are you guys
We big busy.
are you guys a brand that just happen to have a team in uh the TGL, or are you guys a TGL team? Which one is it?
I mean, that's up to interpretation. LAGC, we're busy, man. Let me tell you. Uh, I think from day one, the we were given the goal, right? We were handed down from Alexis, the team owner. This is what we want the team to look like. This is your team, your internal team. Go and cook. I trust y'all. You're creative. You know how to market. You know how to build community. You know how to brand. You know how to put it all together on social. This is the team I want to go forward with. And the ownership team really just trusts us to go and cook. And I think the thing that separates LAGC from the other teams so far is that we looked at 2024 as an opportunity to grow, to build, and the other teams looked at it as a relief. Like, oh, thank God we have 2024 to build up to 2025. We looked at it like, thank God we got 2024. Let's go cook. Let's get busy. Let's get in these streets. Let's get in the community. Let's activate these people in LA because there are diehard golf fans in LA that are looking for something. They're looking for a new pro sports team to root for. LAGC is it.
How are you guys liking the response that you're getting from the fans?
Response is great. Just looking at our social media, we're up to almost 18K followers. The engagement is great. Not only just from the social aspect, the branding is incredible. Shout out to Adrian who designed our logo. It's like being boots on the ground. My role with LAGC is community and events. So all of the pop-ups, all of the photography, all of the events that you see LAGC at, that's a team effort. But they've trusted me with building all of that. And being in the Los Angeles golf scene for the last 5-6 years, I know a lot of the people here. I know how to activate them. I know how to get in their messages and their DMs and in their pockets too. So that's what we're doing.
So, Bradford, explain to me what is TGL for our viewers out there who may not be quite familiar with the product.
Oh, I'm on the hot seat. TGL is how you gonna do that to me? TGL. Let me pull up my. No, let me get it. TGL. TGL is the newest, hottest thing in pro golf right now. It is an indoor simulator league. It is just as much tech based as it is golf focused. It's team golf at the highest level. The technology is going into this league is it's even hard to talk about just because it's proprietary information. If you know, you know. But what you can expect is high octane, team fueled energy competition that's going to be right there on your screen to watch on ESPN Monday and Tuesday nights, prime time. LAGC, we coming for that chip. We coming for them wallets, and we're coming for Atlanta. We're coming for San Francisco. We're coming for New York, Boston, Jupiter. Jupiter looks like a retirement community. You see that promo?
Hey,
You
dog,
see the
watch
promo
yourself,
from
bro.
Jupiter?
I missed the promo.
Doug. Hey, Bradford, watch yourself. Hey,
Look, why are there
I'm
beachcomber chairs as the logo?
Bradford, watch
That
yourself,
looks like a
bro.
retirement community golf team.
Bradford, watch yourself, dog. Don't talk about. Hey, for the people may I know,
I'm just being honest.
I am attached to the Jupiter Club and Jupiter Links, and you throwing shots.
I
Okay,
mean, you're not on
okay.
the branding team, are you? You're not on the brand side, are you?
Hey, keep talking, B. Keep talking, keep talking. I mean,
I mean,
y'all
we
just
got
got every.
this. We got this. Y'all got a lazy boy.
Y'all got a lot of stuff going on, but y'all, I don't think y'all real. I just kind of think y'all just all talk. I don't know if I
We're
keep
as
talking,
real.
keep talking.
So far we are the realest in the league. So
Ooh, ooh. You know
I'm just
what?
saying.
We
We'll
might,
let the
we might,
CGL community. We'll let them decide.
I
Hottest team
might,
in the league right now.
we might need to do
Leave a poll.
we might need to do like a preliminary match between Jupiter and you guys just to kind of get
Come
this
on, you know how
thing
to
revving
find
up
me.
because
I know how to get
yeah,
to
I don't
Jupiter,
like
Florida.
the shots you're throwing up. Okay, I'm gonna go to third base coach. I'm gonna let you slide on this one.
Okay. All right. Come January, come February, we'll see. You bring your
Take
lazy boy, you bring your beachcomber chair, and we're gonna bring the energy of LA. We got that.
In a
all
drive
right. That's
box.
And a drive box. That's right. We go drive the drive box, cross country, pull it up to West Palm, Florida, park it right on Jupiter's front lawn, right on the putting green.
Look, Brad, I appreciate you stepping on here. I know it's an impromptu opportunity. Bradford, excuse me. And look, and now that we have a chance, we have, like I was telling you before we got on, I haven't seen you all year. You've been
Mm-hmm.
working, you've been grinding. To see you on the Netflix situation, because I didn't know that you was doing it. So to see your little narrow peanut ass head on there, dog, speaking all perfect English with teeth shining all white and shit, bro, I was so proud, man. I just wanted to give you those flowers, man to man, and say, bro, we proud of you, we love you. We gonna support you, and we gonna keep on rocking with the group called Thearpy team. Tell everybody I said what's up, Connor Drew. Group called Thearpy is where you find Bradford Wilson amongst every other golf commercial. Bradford, what you got coming up? Can you discuss? I feel like I need to sign an NDA to talk to you now.
I appreciate that. Also, I want to say, Doug, I really appreciate you calling me that week, and you must have had bourbon that day too, because you were all up in your feelings, telling me how proud you were, and I appreciate that. Will, I'm still waiting on my call. I'm still, I'm playing.
Hilarious.
Um,
There's a safety you come with, Bradford.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
um,
absolutely.
I appreciate just the three of us having this conversation. Is It shouldn't be as monumental as it is, but it is, and timely as it is, unfortunately. But the fact that we're able to do this and look at each other, be it virtually, and share this conversation is so important. If there's anything I can say to people listening, people watching, like, just love on your people. Just love on your
Hmm.
people. Checking on them. You get a text message out of the blue from somebody you haven't talked to in a while, and they're checking in on you. Maybe that's somebody you follow up with. Maybe
Mm.
you call them instead of texting them. Maybe you FaceTime them instead of calling them. Maybe you text them instead of emailing. Like, having multiple touch points with people that you care about, that you're close to, is important. It goes a long way. I know I've
Yeah,
appreciated everyone who's ever reached out to me out of the blue just to say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you." Like,
Yeah,
that
them
goes
feel
a
good.
long way. It
Yeah, that does
does.
feel
It does
good.
feel
it
good.
does.
And you know what's inexpensive? And there's a lot of expensive in this world, Bradford. But you know what's
That's
free?
free.
Giving the
Giving a
being
is
kind,
free.
being nice is
Yeah,
free. That might be my next T-shirt.
gone. We can clip this out.
Do
Go
it.
ahead, Jay Sams, go ahead and clip this
Do
out.
it.
Yeah. Hey, that's Bradford
Hey,
Wilson, Group
hey.
Golf Therapy. He's everywhere in golf, man. Will, I'm gonna let you get that point out in just a moment. But Brad, thank you so much for coming in here. Beyond the Fairway, Group Golf Therapy. Go check Bradford out. Just watch TV, you'll see him. Will, it's one. I love Bradford. Like, just being able to talk to him. There's a wholesomeness to the guy. But it's still one of those things we talked about on the front end. Just wishing we would have known something, but it's so free to be nice and it's free to give a damn. And I just feel like we all know two or three people that we can reach out to. And if you don't have those two or three people, I feel like we can all just find some people we ain't talked to in a while and just to say how the hell you doing.
Yeah, there's a sense. One thing about Bradford, there's a sense of comfort with him. Like
Yeah,
all the male ego that we may have, and we're macho man, we're okay. When you think about somebody who has a gentle soul, like quiet giant, maybe that's pretty much like that's Bradford Wilson, and the whole group of therapy guys in general. When they come on to an activation, when we see them, when we cross paths with them in the golf world, you can see that they have a sense of togetherness and understanding. And
Yeah.
just hearing Bradford's take on what's going on in the golf world, it could be a learning experience for sure.
Yeah, and everybody out there, make sure you're listening, subscribing, following this podcast, Beyond the Fairway, Crosshand Productions YouTube channel, even my own Doug Smith Golf YouTube channel. But understand that this is real. There's been moments in life where we've all battled with something, where we may have needed somebody to call. And I tell you, I've learned, Will, in my life over time, that it's so easy to trust a perfect stranger. Like, there's something about,
Yeah.
I don't know you, you don't know me, so I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you. And if you need that perfect stranger that can call, look, you're gonna go 988. We usually say 911 for emergencies. Well, 988, that's Lifeline. That's 988lifeline.org if you want the URL. But look, if you are having battles with mental health, or you need help, or you just need someone to talk to, 988. That's all you got to do. 3 numbers. Call there, have the conversation, and see if they can help you get set up, as well as Black Girls Therapy, as Bradford was talking about. There's no shortage of places to go if you are struggling with mental health, or someone that you know. Sometimes you got to be, what's the expression? You got to be your brother's keeper. And I think that in this time and with these news, I think that's something that we need to keep an eye out for, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Just I mean, it's a place of vulnerability. Like you said, be your brother's keeper and talk about it. The days of we're in a day we're not in the days of holding things in anymore. Saying that you can get through it on your own. I mean, we got to be better. We got to be smarter. I'm speaking to myself too. I'm learning more now than back then when I knew it all. So
yeah,
it's just we have to do better as humans. I mean, it's our right as beings. We just have to do better and getting to know everybody for sure.
Well, that does it for this week's episode of Beyond the Fairway podcast. I understand that this is a heavy topic, and I appreciate y'all for rocking with us, getting through this episode. Bradford Wilson stopping in here, Davis Riley win the championship, and our deepest condolences to the Murray family and everyone that is survived by Grayson Murray's death, and his fiance. I can't imagine how she feels right now, and yeah. Well, we'll pick things up next week, Will. But enjoy London. Have some tea and crumpets. Tell Big Ben I said what up. And check on the London Bridge, because I heard it was falling down. Let me know about that.
You're getting no laughs out of me on that one. That is not an LOL. That's terrible. That's terrible. Oh! Oh!